Ladies and gentlemen, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Rangru, hello, hello, hello.
And folks, today on the Terrible Divisions tournament coverage, we are taking a look at Harashasha. Rang, who is fighting on this pit of nowhere?
In the left-hand side in blue, we have Zogu I playing Korg 559 with a Vanguard income. And on the right-hand side in the red, we have Solar Ring Pixy playing Group as Lugo with a Maverick income. There we go.
Exactly. That's the now. If you folks were a little bit concerned about Rang's left and right skills right there, what he was doing is trying to give it in real directions for our Australian audiences out there. But
Exactly.
who remain completely confused for the length and breadth of all of our casts thus far. But Bazoogligo, I mean, and Korg 559. So we got Shupos, of course, and Schmaz, if you prefer, over here in the center as well with those PP Shahs. This has the makings of being a rather hysterical matchup.
Yeah,
Just
both divisions are
please.
not, the best in the world, but you gotta always love Kork with its crappy infantry spam, especially Shumas. We never see Shumas. It's always just
No,
as
we
a
don't.
Shupos. I forgot these guys existed, frankly. I just Ursat's trooping, but without the dishearten trait.
Well, and they have a little bit of firepower in the PP Shah.
Yeah.
Little is kind of that asterisk.
But the flamethrower troops are actually making good progress, routing out the strokey DPs with Shupos backing up. I think the town fight's gonna go pretty well in Zogu's favour just due to the goddamn infantry spam. Up north is interesting.
Rather different event here. Oh,
Yeah.
we have the SPW ADGZ. So this little plucky guy, hideous thing.
Yeah. I
Truly
believe
hideous.
it's Austrian.
That would explain everything. All about the utility, man, not about those good looks. And the IG-290, yeah, I always get that the Korok is basically, oh wow, the IG-290 just took out the, wow, that was weird.
What did he kill?
I think he killed the KV-1.
Wow.
Either he did or the FK-288 did. I'm not sure. Either
Well,
way.
we can see after.
Well, either way, that rather plucky, let's say, lost battalion here between the Schmaz and the Flammenwerfers, all going to go die or get captured.
Yeah. Yeah, we're only 3 minutes into this
Jeez.
match, and both sides are just steamrolling, like, opposite sides, which is fantastic. We just have so much crap up north for Solar Ring and down south for Zogu. I feel like this is going to be kind of a race of the flanks. And then down south, all the race is dead quiet. No one cares about the southern flank. That's just, this is a nice little peace treaty going on down there.
Well, we have to capture Valentine's over here. We got the T-34s moving in, the P-2s in the center. And to the north, yeah, we have some T-70s, which terrible, but when you have a PTRS on its flank, which is just being rather chivalrous by not shooting at them here. But yeah, in the center we have more infantry within 500 meters from each other than some guys have in their entirety of the A phase. So it's just it's weird to have all of this. Like, I don't even know where to put my camera right now. I'm sure people are getting whiplash as I go between north and south.
There's just so much going on. Like, both sides are just going full tilt on their respective flanks here. The northern side is, I think it's going a little bit better up north here for Pixie, it seems. If he can knock out the T-70s, it is. He doesn't really. Roy has a stroke SVTs coming in with some AT grenades.
Not sure he's gonna need them. Honestly, the T-34-76 would have been more than enough, but yeah, being pushed back by that 129.
Yep. Things just did some blind fire because he was just shooting the ground. That is not a worthwhile thing to do with an anti-tank gun plane.
Oh, don't you worry your head none. We're gonna see an IL-2 coming the other direction and blowing apart that spare verband. And the T-60s are gonna get taken on out as well. Oh wow.
Oh.
Disheartened
Wow, yeah.
anti-aircraft gun does something?
Well, that was a pretty clutch hit on the IR-2 just before he dropped its bombs.
Yeah, really close before then. And I think I failed to understand exactly how much A phase infantry Zogu has here. And then I look at his deck and I realize that the first 6 cells of his infantry deck is all A phase. So it's absolutely absurd. If he could go even heavier into phase A for income, he would totally do that.
And then just look, B and C phase, I mean, he has more than enough infantry to get him through, but that's pretty funny seeing such a A phase heavy infantry for Korok. You usually just see more of the B phase, C phase spam, but of course he's playing Vanguard, so he's just trying to make the most of what he's got early on. And that's really just, as a Shupos, it's what he's got.
But the 15 points, and when it doesn't matter if you outnumber me 5-1, or rather, I outnumber you 5-1. If all my guys are disheartened, I'm still not expecting to win.
Yeah. I do like down south, you're seeing sneaky PTRS plays. I wonder if it'll pick up a kill or two, as we usually see. I'm liking. I mean, it's probably very annoying to fight against people who do this, but it is a very good strategy, because as we've seen, you can get some pretty juicy kills with just a good old AT rifle flank.
Oh, without a doubt. Forgive me, I'm watching as the Valentines are engaging the T-34-76 along with the Pac-36. Well, that's true. I mean, it is almost phase B by now. But the 6-pounders are not doing a whole lot, which I imagine is quite distressing. To those Valentines.
Oh no, they only have the 2-pounders, so the crappy ones.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the 40 mils. You're right. And up to the north, I actually want to watch this as a last-ditch effort has stalled that push through the take of the Sandikis. But it's not going to be enough for everyone else in this area. The T-70, who's just desperate to kind of not be cut off completely, and he's got a captured boy to T-34 moving up north to support him. But it's just like there's this weird pell-mell, just swirling melee as front lines don't seem to matter anymore.
Yeah, this has just been weird. I don't really know who's winning, Khan. It just seems like both sides are winning and losing at the same time.
Does certainly seem to be the case. Truckies are moving in. They are going to get that grenade off, and the T-70 is going to go down. But in the center as well, another wave of German infantry, not to be outdone. This center town is fully German. I mean, look how many troops are there. They're practically owned in terms of just like real estate.
Yeah. We've got Messerschmitt coming in, dropping a bit of bombs, but this has definitely just come down to a race. I feel like if Solar Ring can shut down the spawn up north, but I think Zogu is going to be able to spam enough stuff to stop any cheeky things happening. Unless he flanks around maybe with the tank Desmonidki and get the front line that way.
Well, let us not forget that this is the map, and excuse me, the division rather, on the Soviet side who has themselves a boy to Tiger. So, and who is out and about, by the way.
Oh yeah.
But the 85 mil, desperate to show that he can do it too. It was 129. Going for that side shot, and he gets the side shot.
There we go, that's a pretty good kill, because he only has 2 of those captured Tigers in that division. And we do have 2 Tigers on B phase from Zogu. 2 star veteran shit, yeah, so he definitely wants to be the only person with Tigers on the field.
Well, the other thing too is that Bazooka only has 12 T-34s to be concerned with over here into phase B. Now, and as A starts to close out, he's going to really be depending on his Su-76s. He's got 12 of them, but he's also praying to use those, I imagine, and they're kind of also indirect fire roles. And I don't know they're going to be really that effective otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be pretty interesting, I think.
Well, in the meantime, we can see the P2Cs are in that town. And while more than enough troops are getting hit and hammered by that heavier material, the KV-1, that's not going to be enough. Pac-36ers are closing within a few hundred meters. Probably going to see that heavy the heat rounds coming down in. And yeah, I just want to always double check that range. It says 2,000 meters. That's not right.
Oh, click.
800
You have
meters.
to
There we
click
go.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And the Death Star will be clear to fire pretty soon. He's just behind the wrong fence line here. And ooh. Something else also interesting, the 129 is still patrolling in the north, so if he can get any eyes on this T-34s, they are dead. D-E-D. So, the Soviet gains, as incredible as they had been, and as swift as they had been, they are all being given away as position by position just gets overrun.
Yeah, Zogu is doing a pretty good job of reclaiming that northern flank, and he still has a good hold onto the town here. But Solar Ring definitely seems to be, okay, he's throwing a lot of stuff up north as well. So he's just throwing stuff all over the place, trying to hold on to his front line in some sort of manner, but I know...
Pac 36 throwing rockets downrange, there we go, that's one.
Oh.
Not the KV-1, but he's got the other one here. And that's good, because all the other vehicles over here for Kork are going down. Forgive me, I'm sorry. You were mentioning the push up north.
Yeah, it's
soloing.
Not looking that good here from his current position. He's getting slowly kicked off that hill. Yeah. I think for, like, the town fight... Does he have off-map? No, he has an Andrush. I believe that's an Andrusha.
No, he's definitely got... and an Andreyusha.
Yeah, okay. He's definitely going to need both of them to make it down into bloody rubble before he even thinks about moving into it.
Yeah, but at the same time, he seems a little bit like he's more in Barney right now than anything else.
129 coming in, trying to go for the KV.
And blind shooting.
Yeah.
You know, you think he'd be flying down... As he's flying down, you think he'd be able to see his target.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I know for balance reasons they don't do that,
I
but
know,
realistically, yeah.
No, unless of course you're playing IL-2, the computer game, at which point I have absolutely no idea how you see any of your targets unless you have your graphics card turned way up. But my hat's off to you either way.
Are you talking about the Battle of Stalingrad run?
The more recent one.
Yeah,
the one
new one.
The tank thing, yeah.
I just thought about the older one, the 1946 run. I was like, what type of graphics card do you have, Khan? Game came out in like the 2000s, but yeah, the new one is like beautiful. It's a very good looking game. And they have a tank mode now, which is apparently very good.
It is. I have definitely seen my fair share of YouTube videos for it. Some really incredible kind of fights. And you know what? There's something compelling in not having to be the guy who's always the hero throughout the entire thing. I've definitely seen my fair share where it's been like, yes, critical mission has been achieved. You're like, wait a second, but I haven't even fired my coax yet, let alone my main cannon.
It reminds me of, there's this World War I flight simulator called Rise of Flight, which is fantastic. And they had a campaign mode where you do, like, realistic missions with your World War I airplane, but if you die at shit, it's game over. So you had to treat it like real life and try not to die as you get sent over the German front lines to, bomb an airfield. It got very tense. And sometimes you just do missions and nothing happens, which is also just like real life.
Well, that's the other thing, too, is that I won't lie. I will go and skip through a hefty chunk where it's like, oh, yes, there's clearly no action going on here. KV-1 Kamarotti in the center is continuing to show his teeth, but even as he does so, another T-34 in that town goes down. So trading out here is still going to go much better, I would argue, for Zogu than for Solo Wing Pixy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what? I mean, there is something that's almost just real life. It's almost kind of comforting to know that there's some missions sometimes where it's like, okay, you're not going to see a single enemy contact. You're going to go out, come back, and that's that. So.
Yeah, it's pretty chill. And I don't know, like, games like how it's a slower pace, like, the downfall, of course, is that it can get a bit tedious, but when action does happen, it is,
intense.
It's super intense. It's like DayZ, especially when it was, like, originally released as the mod. It's a lot of downtime, and then, boom, crazy firefight.
Well, it's like watching the movie Dunkirk, for, like, a little bit. You can argue with me if you want about how good that movie is or not, but, like, dude, action scenes in that, your heart is in your throat because there's no brilliant music, there's none of this, there's none of that. It's just two guys fighting against each other.
Yeah.
Also, worth mentioning here, the Soviets, not to be outdone by all of disheartened troops, are sending their Chernos in. And I think the thing that's always kind of funny for me is that the Chernos, despite being disheartened, have almost twice as much ammunition as a Shupo.
Yeah, the
Like,
Soviets are a bit more optimistic about the Sergeant infantry.
it's just it's funny to watch, at the same time a little bit sad.
Mm-hmm.
But Zogu over here, I mean, he's massing his troops pretty well. He's collecting his fair chunk of territory. I guess that the question really is he able to keep his, his Valentines in play? Is he able to keep, heck, even those Tigers in play once he brings them in?
Yeah, I feel like in the center, he has that just locked down. Unless, a bunch of artillery comes in, that could definitely prove to be a bit of an issue. Up north, wherever his position is a little bit more
Tenuous.
Tenuous. I was trying to think of a fancy word, and that is the word I did want to come up with, so thank you, Khan. But yes, it's not looking as good here. It's not as easily defensible, it doesn't have as much stuff, and really not much in terms of anti-armor, because these Su-76s can definitely do quite a bit of hassle.
Well, don't worry, the MB4 tends to drop 400 kilograms of bombs, and that's the entire infantry push done.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing that is a little bit interesting to me, let's see if I can find that again, is he's not really concerning himself with throwing materials downrange with the Su-76. I really would have preferred that if I get these long-range kind of line-of-sight shots, and really be supporting my infantry pushing in. He's not as concerned with that.
No, he's not, and definitely something that he's missing out a bit. Right out northern Su-76 was, in its previous position, was a little bit exposed, but you can shoot down the road to enemy reinforcements. Yeah, I think he bugged off because that Pak 36 is trying to blow him up to Kingdom Come. Which is a good reason to bugger off, really.
And this is kind of funny and sad at the same time. One squad comes in, and infantry just starts to pound their opposite numbers, and then the second later, I mean, we have a ground attack bomber come the other direction, and given the old what for, let's say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
IL-2. Go ahead, please.
Oh, it's just like 17 minutes in, and I couldn't tell you for the life of me who's gonna win this match, Khan.
Oh, I'll tell you who's already won it. We have.
Amen.
We have. How often? Oof. By the way, there was a 152 in the center. You can see the impact of that, literally.
There's just so much going on.
Exactly, but I mean, they're disheartened in the first place, though, too. So who really gives a rat's backside?
Yeah. There's just more of it coming in. This is very explosive. It's like exactly what Solar Ring Pixie needs, is a shit ton of artillery.
Well, that's good, because all he's got otherwise is he's got Chernos coming in to kind of rinky-dinking on around here, but who really cares for them?
Yeah.
Ooh. There still are things like these Automachiki in the north, and I'm watching a Shupo squad try to take on an Automachiki, and that's kind of, well, what it looks like I can't say on stream, because otherwise we'd be demonetized rather quickly. Let's just say it looks rather sad. It's two Shupo squads desperately tried to shell out a single Automachiki squad. Oh, and another squad coming in down here too. Yeesh. Oh, but down the south, we actually completely missed it. Chernos and Strokis have taken the front lines, and that's why it's a 13-11 over here in favor of soloing Pixie.
Oh. Completely forgot about that part of the map actually existed, but this is a really good push here from Solo. Has some easy territory under his control, and maybe that P2S squad might get a kill or two now.
Certainly possible. JU-87 coming over. Interesting. Last Barrage coming in dead center of town. He's desperate to push back that Tiger. It ain't gonna happen, but he's desperate to push him back.
Just gonna get some easy recon as there's no anti-air on Solar Rings Pixie, so that's Stuka can just fly around.
The JU-87, the hero JU-87 with Arthur Pippin.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for him, he's not actually going to get really anything out of that. It's like, congratulations, you killed an observer, but his stuff's already on the way.
He's already observed what he needed to observe.
Exactly. Now, probably the best thing for Zogu is that artillery strike is only going to hit 2 tanks.
Yeah.
And one of them really not even that hard. Yes, sir?
And he still has a bunch of infantry to just slap into the town.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, down to the south as well, ME-410s, angry that their troops have been pushed back, are just going to go and blow most of the attacking infantry down.
Good call. Good call.
Another Kampfgruppe moving on in, T-60, was a T-34 in there as well?
Oh.
Yeah, half of it being Russian, half Austrian, all of it nasty.
I do love just seeing... I always love seeing Cork. It's such a funny division, or just the random assortment of vehicles it gets. It's all over the bloody place. All over the bloody place. Oh, the PTUS squad in a lovely position, going to be getting some shots in the ADGZ, but not get the kill. He riffs a shot. Yeah,
you're right though. I mean, Korra kind of feels like somebody was playing a deck builder, but didn't really know how to do it. So yes. in short, it's the deck of Khan. So it's a whole this idea of just kind of everything went in here. They didn't really know what to do, but they had their one friend that was like, "Dude, you totally got to play this game." They're like, "Oh yeah, great. What vehicle should I have?" And they didn't have the money to buy the the platinum set, so their friend just let them loan some cards, and this is what we have.
They're like just trying to make a quick and easy draft deck, but they could only afford like a few booster packs, and some of them were like 10 years old.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like somebody playing Magic and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm running a Goblin deck. It's full fire." Like, it's not gonna work. You can't mill that anymore. You can't rush it. It's just. But it never ceases to be interesting. I will say that much.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'll take some T60s. Oh boy, T70s. It must be like 10 times better. Tiger, that sounds cool. I'll take a few of those.
The T-70 is funny for me because it's one of the only tanks I think I've ever heard of where it was like, "Oh yes, you're the tank commander. You have more to do than the actual other guy you command. Enjoy."
Oh, because is it like a one-man turret?
It was a one-man turret. It was a two-man tank. It was a driver, and the commander did everything else. He was the coax. He was the gunner. He was the loader.
Radio, if they had it.
Oh, please, they didn't give him radios. They're going to trust him like that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. It's the same thing with the French tanks, like the early pre-war... Oh, all the French tanks in really World War II had those awful one-man turrets, and it would not be fun being like commander, gunner, radioman, loader, everything. That's a lot of work.
So while also we weren't really paying attention in the center, the Tiger did eventually go down. Wouldn't be surprised if it was because of that T-34-76 that has just kind of rushed him to pieces. But Zogu's lines are starting to fold here.
Yes. Actually not looking that good for him. The run up, Tiger up north does go down, and center position, I think artillery is just enough to shake things up. And yeah, it's good use of fire support with the OB-25 guns and as the Su-76s. Yeah, it's a pretty good job here from Shadowring Pixie. And he's Maverick. Has the income disadvantage compared to Zogu.
Now, the one thing that might be able to turn this around, that I'm saying might is a very loose concept, is the fact that all this air power from Zogu has been fairly effective. Unfortunately, he's been doing a lot of it just blind firing, which just kind of kills me on the inside.
Yeah. Yeah, it's never worthwhile to do it with the anti-tank gun planes. Even if you have a 90% chance you think it's gonna be you have to be really dead on with that blind fire to actually hit the tank. You really just want to let the LA to. You need to have line of sight to actually hit anything.
Yeah, I mean, the whole Wayne Gretzky thing, that was like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, but you miss 150% of the shots that you take blind. So, an IL-2, he's going to show us how it's done. Oh yes, you see your infantry right here? Well, you won't see them very soon. And sure, his Chernos are going to probably get taken out here too, but that's casualties of war, right?
It's a magic trick. Where did the Shupo go? Bloody David Blaine at IL-2.
Mind freak! There's some Chris Angel nonsense going up in here. But yeah, I mean, Zogu at this point, he's been kicked in the cojones one too many times, I think.
Yeah, I think the southern flank is also just completely, screwed over Zogu here, because that is a lot of territory that Solar Ring has meant to take for relatively little work. And he has a
Yeah.
pretty good hold in it. He has a lot of infantry. And that's what you need to hold, is lots of infantry.
Well, the weird thing is I kind of expected to see Gene Hackman in this, but because this is quite a Crimson Tide, moving from east to west, and I did not think I was going to be able to pull off that kind of comment. So thank you for giving me a snort at least. That was a pity. But Roll Tide. I mean, geez, the Soloing Pixy has just been throwing wave upon wave of troops, and I think a big part of that is that Zogu was trying so hard to knock him out here in that first 15-20 minutes. And you gotta be so lucky. You really gotta be lucky on that for Korok to be effective.
Yeah, like, Bezluga is not a great division either. I mean, it's a terrible division tournament, but its equipment is a little bit more usable. The SU-76s are actually pretty decent if you use them effectively. Your main tanks are T-34s, which are always great compared to just the random assortment of crap that Korok gets. And you just have slightly better stuff, more standard stuff. You can make it work. And Zogu, I mean, he has been using his air power, like you said, but it just hasn't made as much of an impact that he needed to really get things done.
Actually, you know what Korok is? Korok is when you were a kid and you're playing with somebody on their Xbox or something, like, oh, you can be player 2, and then you find out years later the controller was just unplugged.
It's mad. No, they give you the Mad Catch controller. That's Korok 559.
And that, yeah, and again, it's one of those things where it's like, you can technically do something, but you got to get something else in there first, like an opponent who is differentially abled.
Yeah.
So. But it is always great to see them.
Yeah,
It's great to see them.
Yeah, I do love this terrible division tournament. It's always fun seeing people play less of the standard meta divisions that we usually see in C-League. Changes things up a bit because they're fun to see being played against each other. Of course, in high level competitive play, not worthwhile, but in a tournament focused about this stuff, it's just fun. You know, everyone likes a bit of fun, or I hope you guys do.
If you don't like a bit of fun, then actually, you know what? I don't even know how to finish that.
I know. It's just seek help. I have no idea.
If you don't like fun, you're the person who plays a Stanley Parable, and all you do is you press the buttons that they tell you to press.
Such engaging gameplay. I have 40 hours on it.
Oh man, that is a game that honestly I desperately want to pick up, but like I already know how everything works. I just that half of that game is all about discovery.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only a game you can really play through runs.
Yes.
I mean, with all the multiple endings, of course, but once you've done all of that runs, there's no reason to really go back.
Well, that's when you go and you wait to play for a year, and then you go back to get the achievement for going outside, which is probably one of the most amazing achievements I think I've ever.
I think they have one for 5 years as well. If you don't play the game for 5 years, you get it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think that was a tap out over here, and yes, indeed, it was a tap out from Zogu.
Oh, pretty close.
No, wait, Zogu. Now that I'm thinking about it, wasn't Zogu the name of the dictator from like? Was it Albania or something like that? It was like Zogu the First.
Was he like the chain smoker?
I cannot recall. All I know is that the guy he looks insane. I think in Hearts of Iron 4. I might be wrong on that, but congratulations to Soloing Pixy. His T-34 is definitely one of form in that kind of phase B there. Let's see. Yeah, the Subchak, for example, 3 armor kills, 3 infantry kills. The KV-1, 1, 2, 3, 4 armor kills. Heck, Shulsky over here, the SU-76, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 armor kills, including one of the Tigers. High visibility kills and trading rather effectively.
Yeah.
Toporov, another SU-76, got 4 kills. Now, look in the other direction. I'm trying to find real standout players, and it's not so much that they're standout players, but rather that everyone at least was able to get their pound of flesh. It might have been lighter than the 15 pounds they weighed, but they got their pound of flesh before they died. So it's just, again, Korok 559. Such a ridiculous division. So much fun to play, and honestly, I really appreciate Zogu. Thank you for bringing him on in here, dude.
Yeah. Also, remember that KV-1S that died early on?
Yes.
It was from the IG-290.
Huh. How about that?
I know. I knew it had heat shells and they have a chance of penetrating, but It's like a pretty low chance. Unless you got a side shot. But even then, the KV Honest is like decent side armor if I recall.
Yeah, I want to say something like 60-ish, 60 or
Yeah,
70 pretty easily.
something like that.
But in any case, congratulations to Solo Wing Pixie. That Solo Wing is definitely taking you to higher and higher heights. Zogu the First may not have gotten a W this time, but he certainly won, I think, the people's vote. So I definitely appreciate that right there. Any final thoughts, sir?
Nope.
Well, folks, in that case, then, please have a wonderful weekend. Until next week, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangaroo. Take it easy.